Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters.
Hi everyone, my name is Ira Pace with the USC Upstate in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I'm just going to do a quick introduction of our panelists before we get started. We have Chanel Quick from North Carolina A&T University, Shaniqua Lassiter from William Peace University, Melissa Garrison from UNC Greensboro, Nancy Reading from UNC Pembroke, and myself. Thank you.
So thank you all for joining us today for this panel discussion about non-traditional students and paths in which you can take to work to achieve, those next steps. You're pursuing your undergraduate degree. So we want to encourage you to let your journey continue. And here's why. Opportunities can motivate your growth. And so starting here, just being present, wanting to learn more about how to get to these next steps is important. And you've already taken that first step. So 48% of adult degree completers who want to complete their degree say they have a lot to figure out. And we understand that. So when you're connecting with all of these counselors based on your research and where you want to go ahead and ask those questions. What does this look like for me? How can I fit this into my schedule? And we will be happy to answer those questions for you. 67% of adult degree completers say they want a degree program designed for someone in their situation. So we understand that flexibility, affordability, and cost is definitely something that you all are looking for. And so as counselors, we have those tools and resources to help you along the way. I too was a non-traditional student, so I understand where you're at and what you're trying to achieve. So you are not alone. We are here to support you. And as you kind of listen through this presentation, get ready to ask those questions. We're all here to support you. And then towards the end, our contact information is there if you have questions that you want to kind of reach out and ask us more specifically. So thank you for joining us.
So how do you get started? Well, you've taken the first big step today, and that's gathering more information and doing some research. So congratulations on that, because oftentimes the first step is the hardest in seeking out information. As Shaniqua referred to, contact an admissions counselor. There's so many different opportunities for you as adult students, flexible schedules, online programs. We understand that you've got a million different things that you're competing with trying to balance. So if you talk to an admissions counselor, we can help narrow down your options that might be the best fit for you, what might fit with your current job, your current schedule, and most importantly, your interests. There's so many different opportunities for you out there. Also, as you get this process started, please apply early. It helps us help you. If you go ahead and get your application in early, meet our deadlines. Every school can be different, so make sure you watch the deadlines and apply early. Because after admission, there's a number of next steps that we'd like to help you with. Advising and registration, immunizations, those types of things. So the earlier you apply, the earlier we can help you with the admissions process so you can begin your next steps to enrolling. Because it is a bit of a process, but we're all here to make it go as smoothly as possible. We do find that adult students tend to have a number of transcripts sometimes, and that's fine, that is totally okay. But another reason to apply early is make sure you collect all the transcripts from all the prior colleges you've attended. It may be 1, it may be 10, it may be more than that. But no matter how many prior schools you've attended, we do need to have official college transcripts from all schools attended. Okay, so please go ahead and try to collect those. And if you have difficulty locating some of those, let us know, as we can help you navigate that process. Many adult students come to me stressing and worried about test scores. Most schools, if you're 21 years of age or older, don't require SAT or ACT scores. So please don't get yourself all hung up and worried about, am I going to have to go back and take an SAT or ACT? We find for adult students, that's not the best judge of your success. So please check with the school, but the majority of schools are not going to require students to submit test scores. And also, as an adult student, we know your path may not have been straight from A to B, and that is okay. There are many different ways to approach earning a degree. And so please don't let any false starts in the past you've had discourage you. What you did right out of high school as an 18-year-old is not going to be the way you approach education now as an adult with some different experience under your belt. So please don't be intimidated and not want to start the process because you've had some what we call false starts along the way. Talk to us about those and let us see how we can help you move forward with your educational plan.
Okay, so you're wondering why finish a bachelor's degree. Bachelor degrees and master degree programs do increase your lifetime earning and your employment rate. And you'll see in the bottom right corner, there's a graph. We'll blow up that graph in just a second and show you what that looks like as you attain more education. Graduates from any of our institutions in this panel and any institution that you may attend pursue positions like production team leaders, nurse leaders, accountants, and many other professional programs and degree programs and careers. The difference is sometimes more than $17,000 from your associate's and bachelor's degree in your total income per year. And that's a significant increase for any person. And many graduates also earn more than $50,000 per year after they finish their bachelor's degree. Next slide, please. And so based on this, you can see that both your median weekly earning and your unemployment rate percentage by degree are correlated in a way that as you attain more education, your unemployment rates will drop significantly. So the more education you attain, bachelor's degree, and then further your master's degree, will ensure that you have a steady income, but also that you have continual employment. Next slide. So now you need to figure out how you can afford to pay for school. And so I've listed some of the different scholarships here. Many universities have these scholarships. Almost all universities have a form or fashion of scholarships for adult students, for students in general. And so we're going to talk about each part just for a second here. Scholarships are those based on merit. So those are based on previous classroom performance, something that you brought in on your transcript. And so when the admissions office at each institution is reviewing your transcript, they will determine whether you're qualified for merit-based scholarships. Those are going to be like your university scholarships first on the list. Foundation scholarships are coming from the community foundation in the county where you live, or from the community foundation hosted by the campus. State scholarships are often sponsored by the state, so those would be merit-based again. And then you have your non-university scholarships, which would be coming from any, maybe a community organization like a church or, somewhere else that may be a scholarship based again on merit. Grants are going to be based on your FAFSA. So the next two things we're going to talk about are based on that free application for federal student aid, your FAFSA. And so the federal Pell Grant is based on need, and so is the Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant, or SEOG. Those are based on, being a high need student. And so that would help cover the cost. These are not required to be paid back. So these are free grants from the federal government and the state government. Additionally, there are Teach Grant programs for anyone interested in being a teacher. Next are federal loans and private loans and teacher loans. These are loans that you do have to pay back. So you want to borrow, smartly from scholarships and grants as much as you can before you turn to loans. And that's what our financial aid office at each institution will do. They'll help guide you to the right decision, help you pick the right scholarship package before you apply for loans to keep that debt burden low, because that's very important for an adult learner. Federal loans are separated into two different categories, subsidized and unsubsidized. Subsidized means that the federal government pays the cost of interest or does not accrue interest during the time that you are in college, and it will start accruing interest once you graduate. Unsubsidized means that the loan accrues interest from the day that you take the loan and receive it and apply it towards your tuition. Private loans come from banks and other organizations that are not federally supported by the FAFSA. So that could be a Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or really any private lender. Teacher loans are for students who want to be a teacher. These often come with the stipulation that you teach for a certain number of years in a high need school where they may cover part of the cost or the full cost of the loan where you do not have to pay that back. Additionally, there are tuition assistant programs through your human resources office, through somewhere you might work. And so many companies pay upfront for your courses, and your grades need to be reported back to them. Some have just a certain number of dollars that they give you, and some cover the cost of the program in full. It is very important that you check with your human resources representative and manager before you go to them or before you start the process, so you have an idea of what's in your bank. And then each school and university has an adult education scholarship, so be sure to check with them when you're applying to the university. Next slide. All right, here are just a few resources that you may need. You can take a screenshot of this, or you can visit the website when the recording is posted, and these will be out there for you to keep and review and refer back to at any point in time. Fastweb.com and collegenet.com are two outside scholarship resources that you can look up scholarships across the nation. Studentaid.ed.gov and the IPEDS website just below are federal government websites that give information about scholarships and financial aid and help you find the right place to go for financial aid. These are also where you would find your FAFSA information and your next steps for filling out a FAFSA and obtaining a federal student ID number. And then you want to refer to your other sources. These are people who will be there to help you and support you in this process. Your transfer out counselor, if you're currently enrolled at a technical college, they will be there to help you find the right school. Maybe if you are having trouble making sense of all the offers that you have, and you want someone who is a third party who may not be as tied to the recruitment drive of the university, then your transfer out counselor at your current institution would be a good resource. Your financial aid counselor at each institution will be there to help you as well. And each school will talk to you about their financial aid process and their offers. Community foundations have staff members to help students find scholarships and apply and interview for those scholarships if necessary. And then your human resources officers and your managers at your current company, if you are working, will be there to help you as well.
All right, so when you start at a university and you've been at a community college, sometimes you're going to find some differences. And so some of those might be the language that is used at a community college versus at a university. Most community colleges don't use the term bursar. So you're going to hear that a lot at your university level. The bursar's office is just like your student accounts office. So that's going to be like what you would have had at your community college, like your cashier. And those are going to be the people that tell you what's on your bill and give you the resources so that you can pay that bill. Class sizes might be different at a university versus at a community college. So you might want to take that into consideration. If you're used to small class sizes, that might be a factor in your search. When you're looking for a university, you might want to look for a smaller university that has a smaller average class size. Course offerings. You're going to have a lot of different options on the university level that you may not have experienced before. You're going to have different majors. So you're going to want to take some time in those course offerings. You're also going to want to make sure that you participate in the registration process early because of those course offerings. Courses that you're really interested in might fill up quickly. So you want to make sure when you're in the university level that you're paying attention to when registration opens. Don't wait till the last minute to register for classes. Campus size could be different. You might be experiencing a campus that's really spread out that you might need a car, or you might be want to look for a campus that's more compact if you don't have reliable transportation. So you want to make sure that you're factoring that into your decision when you're looking for a college. Online degree options. The community college system, you might have been used to taking online classes, but you may not have had fully online degree programs. So you want to check with the university that you're transferring to if the degree that you're interested in can be completed fully online, if that's something that you're looking for. You also want to find out when they talk about online courses, how their online courses are set up. If they're synchronous, meaning that you're going to be on a computer at a specific time, or if they're asynchronous where you can do your work at your own pace. So you want to check and ask those questions if you're thinking about an online degree process. Also, your waiting time for your decision at a university is going to be a little different than what you're used to at a community college. You heard Melissa talk about the fact that you have to get all of those transcripts. So it's not a simple process where you can walk in and decide, I've decided I want to attend here, fill out an application, meet with a counselor, and then be admitted. It's probably going to have a timeline. There's probably a deadline. Some universities operate on what's called rolling admission, so they admit applicants as their applications come in. Other universities have a deadline and they don't distribute decisions until after that deadline has passed. So you want to find out from your university what the waiting and turnaround time is like. But be prepared that you need to apply early so that that waiting time doesn't affect your ability to get into the classes that you need. The other thing that is important when you're at a university is making sure that you find that fit. So we talked about campus size and class size, but also if it has the activities and the things that you're interested in. You should really be looking for something that's going to expand your university education outside of the classroom. So things that you can get involved in. If you're looking for a university that's maybe got sorority and fraternity life, it's never too late to do that too. If you're looking for a university that maybe has a club or organization that's specific to your major that you're looking for, there might be specific transfer student organizations. Tau Sigma Honor Fraternity is also an option. Departmental student groups. So those are things that you should also factor in when looking for your fit. Find the things that you're passionate about. Find ways to expand your education outside of the classroom, because those are going to help develop some of those additional soft skills that employers are looking for. So really getting involved on your campus and having a campus that has activities that you're interested in is also important. Don't feel like because you're a non-traditional transfer student that you can't get involved, because trust me, you're going to find students that are just like you on that campus and they want you to be involved too.
Can I succeed? So your school, whichever one you may choose, will definitely provide professional development opportunities. And it's up to you to, participate in those professional development opportunities. Your school is going to make sure that you're prepared, whether it's a co-op, internship opportunity, full-time job opportunity, or even preparing you for graduate school. So you want to make sure that you seek out those professional development opportunities so that you can grow professionally and personally. Also, your school will offer technology support to make sure that you're able to access everything that's necessary so that you can be successful as a student. So whether your school uses Blackboard or Moodle or whatever platform your school uses, you will be provided technology support. And also tutoring services as well. Want to make sure that students have the support and academic resources that are necessary so that they can be successful students. So it's important that if you need tutoring services or you need assistance in your classes, that you not only reach out to your professors, but that you also reach out to the support services at your institution as well. Because again, we want all students to be successful. And our contact information. Again, my name is Chanel Quick. I'm the Associate Director of Transfer and Diversity Admissions, and you can reach me by my phone number or my email address. And we also have Ms. Shaniqua Lassiter, and she's the Director of Admissions at William Peace University. And she has provided her phone number as well as her email address as well. And you can also schedule a virtual visit with William Peace as well. And Ms. Melissa Garrison from UNCG is the transfer specialist, and she has provided her email address and contact phone number, excuse me, and you can also schedule a virtual appointment with UNCG. And Ms. Nancy Reading from UNC Pembroke is the Associate Director, and she's also provided her email address and phone number as well. And Mr. Pace, the Assistant Director of Transfer Admissions at the University of South Carolina, and he's also provided his telephone number and email address as well.
All right, thank you. So now we have time for questions. So if anyone has a question about the adult education process, go ahead and type those in the Q&A feature just at the bottom of your screen, and we will answer them as they come in. So the first question that I have is, what is a degree completion program and how is it different from a typical program? Would anyone want to take this one?
I can talk about that. So a degree completion program is a program that's geared towards a student that has started a degree path at a community college and is now transferring to finish up that degree. So at UNC Pembroke, our degree completion program we talk a lot about is our Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies. So that's a student that has maybe taken a good deal of general education classes or has gotten an Associate's of Applied Science and is looking to finish up their bachelor's. And so they're just taking the remaining credits in order to get that bachelor's degree. So you would want to already have completed a considerable number of credits and finished an associate's degree in order to do a degree completion program.
Thank you, Nancy. I do want to add that some schools have other programs too. So like for USC Upstate, we do have a program specifically designed for mechatronics degree holders. And so that would be a degree completion program. So there may be specialized Associates of Applied Sciences that might be a good fit for degree completion. Again, it's always good to contact your school. The next question we have is, do you offer straight online learning for those of us who can't get to a school? And I think each of us can take a second to answer that, I think. So we'll just start with Melissa.
Sure, yes. UNCG does offer fully online programs, bachelor's in liberal studies, a bachelor's in integrated professional studies for working adults. Also other topics like philosophy, peace and conflict studies is a popular online degree as well. We have a degree completion online in public health. As Nancy was saying, degree completion is with the understanding in our public health program that you've earned an associate in arts or an associate in science, but you could complete that online. So just be careful because there are straight online only options, and then there are options where you would need to be on campus. But yes, most universities do offer both options. Just it depends on what type of subject area you're interested in studying.
And I would also like to add, William Peace University, we actually have a School of Professional Studies that is specifically designed for students that want to pursue their degree evening or online. We have 6 start dates, so any opportunity for you to start. And then 7 out of our 9 programs can be done fully online. So we have students right now that are in South Carolina, in DC, taking their programs. I know when I graduated from Peace through our School of Professional Studies, one of the graduates, her first time stepping on campus was at graduation. So there definitely is opportunity for you to do this fully online and still receive all the resources you need to be successful.
At UNC Pembroke, we offer a number of online programs, including a Bachelor's of Sociology, a Bachelor's of Business Administration, and you can choose a focus in marketing, economics, management, or finance. And then we also offer the Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies that has multiple tracks: general studies, applied education, criminal justice. Our BA in criminal justice is also offered fully online. So there's a lot of different options for you if that's what you're looking for.
At A&T, we also have several online programs as well. And our website is online.ncat.edu. And at that particular link, you can view all of our completely online programs.
USC Upstate has 6 online programs, 4 through our Palmetto College cohort with the other USC campuses at USC Aiken, Beaufort, and Columbia. And then we also have 2 in-house online programs offered: interdisciplinary studies and our engineering technology management program. All right, the next question that we have is there an expiration date on credits that are transferring in? So if you're an adult student who took credits, 10 years ago, do those expire, or are you able to use those in the degree completion?
So William Peace University does not have an expiration date on previous credit earned. So I'm oftentimes looking at transcripts from the early 90s. The only disclaimer I will say is if you are pursuing a major that would require maybe you to refresh your memory on some of these courseworks, it's more specifically math, say, for instance, then you may want to retake that. And those are conversations that you can definitely have with your advisor. But as we see fit right now, there is no expiration date on previous credit earned. So we can definitely look at that and see how we can apply transfer credit.
Same thing. I would say that most schools, USC Upstate does not have an expiration on credits accepted for transfer. But if you are in a sciences field, so nursing, biology, exercise science, anything that's going to lead to working in the medical field, those do expire. You have 5 years from completion to enter the upper level of the program, or you may need to retake a few of the science course requirements.
I definitely agree with what both of you have said. It's the same at UNCG, especially also, preparing for the sciences. If science is required for your major, you may need to repeat that. Also jumping in foreign language. If it's been a long time since you've had foreign language and you need to continue that sequence, it'd be best to refresh that as well. But overall, credits don't generally expire. I also want to elaborate a little bit on when you transfer your credit, but your GPA starts over afresh at the new school. So sometimes that's something that I run into students that don't realize. We can transfer quite a number of credits, but your GPA will start afresh at the school that you're transferring to. So sometimes that's a good thing to note.
And that's the same policy as UNC Pembroke. We don't have a credit expiration date either.
And the same for A&T. Ours don't expire. Thank you.
Another question we just had come in is, if you're not in a transferable major, so if you're not in that university transfer program, can your classes still transfer for a major like human services? And I know at least for USC Upstate, we advise you to contact the admissions office to talk about other opportunities, because we do have some flexible learning options. And so if each college wants to sound off on that too.
I would say the same thing. Reach out to your admissions office. A lot of students that I see that come with those non-transferable majors, they usually choose to major in something under that Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies option, because we can take up to 30 of their credit hours towards that degree, including anything that they took as a general education. So you may have some general eds woven into that associate's in applied science major. So definitely reach out to where you're interested in transferring. We're gonna try to transfer, at UNCP, we try to transfer everything that we can. So we're gonna look at your course descriptions, and if we can find something that's comparable, we're gonna transfer it in as best we can.
Yeah, I would just echo what Nancy just said, that that's the same here at Peace. We're going to try to do what we can to um, provide you those transfer credits. So we would work to see what program is as close as possible to what you are transferring in. And it may be the interdisciplinary studies. We also try to transfer in as many credits as possible. So that is a 90 credit hour limit for us. So we just say that your last 30 have to be taken with us. So we're going to try as much as possible to work with you there.
And I just want to echo that as well. UNCG does have what's called 2+ agreements for specific associate and applied science degrees within the North Carolina Community College system. So with human services, you could transfer into the related major of social work. And if you know that this is your plan, we encourage you to work with us early because we can help you incorporate some general courses along with your technical AAS degree. So your time to completion would be a little bit quicker, but we would be taking a little bit more major coursework, but you still have to complete the requirements for a 4-year bachelor's degree, which would include the science and the math and the history, which is technically what is not typically not as what is incorporated in an AAS degree. So just keep that in mind, that it would still take a little bit longer, but there are opportunities to transfer with those types of degrees.
Yes, so we at A&T have established several articulation agreements so that those AAS credits can transfer in. And also keep in mind that from a 2-year institution, the maximum amount of transferable credits is 64.
Thank you. And so one of those questions would be, does your college have a limit on transferable N credits applied towards a degree? And I think most everyone has already said what those were. For USC Upstate, from a technical college, you would be able to transfer 76 total credit hours before you would need to complete the remainder at USC Upstate.
We don't have a limit on transferable credits, but you do have to keep in mind that you do need to complete at least 30 credit hours in order to receive a degree from UNCP. So if you transfer in 120 hours, you're still going to have to take those remaining 30.
And that's the same at UNCG, a maximum of 64 hours from a 2-year school. We take unlimited number of credits from a regionally accredited 4-year schools, but you still have to complete at least 31 hours at UNCG. And in many cases, a certain number of 300 level classes in the particular major to earn the degree.
All right, and don't forget to type your questions in the Q&A section at the bottom of the page. Another question that we have that came in is, do GPAs matter for the admissions process? And I'll start with saying for USC Upstate, it does matter. I would say most schools have a minimum requirement. However, when you do enroll, you do start afresh with a new USC Upstate GPA, meaning that you can potentially still graduate from the University of South Carolina with honors mentioned.
Yes, for admissions into our non-traditional program, we are looking for a minimum 2.0 GPA. We do also have a grace period. So if you've been out of school for more than 5 years, that then becomes a conversation and interview so that we can determine if you are ready to start this accelerated program.
For A&T, you must have at least a 2.0 from the last college attended. It is important that you take a look at our website because we do have some departments that have special requirements. For example, nursing, a 3.0 cumulative GPA, engineering, a 2.5 GPA with a C or higher in Calculus 1. So again, to gain admissions to the university, a 2.0, but please take a look at our website for those that have special departmental requirements.
Yeah, at UNC Pembroke, we require a 2.0 GPA. We will not hold against you any academic work that is more than 3 years old. So if you attended college maybe when you were young and then didn't do so well and left, and now you're starting over, if your work is more than 3 years old, we still require those transcripts, but we won't hold it against you. So we're going to look at what you've completed within the last 3 years for that 2.0 GPA requirement. But also, like Chanel said, some of our majors have separate applications that will require a higher GPA, especially our nursing program. So you should be trying to do the best that you can if you're interested in one of those professional programs.
All right, on the topic of transcripts, what do you do if your college or previously attended college is closed? And I think each school may have a recommendation, but I think generally each school that may close, you would need to contact the Commission on Higher Education in the state where you attended that college to request that closed college's transcripts. Do we have any other questions coming in? All right, if we don't have any other questions, we're going to turn it back over to our host and let them share some next steps with you.
Thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at CACRAO.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as the other sessions recordings at CACRAO.org. Thank you for attending.